All right, welcome to the CougarCast. As always, I'm Mr. Randall here with
Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Sullivan. How was your week?
My week was good. Still more family time, not leaving the house a lot. Went to the grocery store though, and my wife made me a little mask out of my kid's t-shirt, and I wore that over my face. Then my wife took a picture of it and sent it to her sisters, and they all agreed that it looked like I had a diaper on my face. So that was nice of them. But yeah, doing good, staying healthy. All stocked up to not leave the house again for another week. How about you?
Yeah, same thing, I guess. I had a lot of meetings in my Google Classroom, and also I got 8 yards of dirt dropped off at my house.
Oh
So
yeah,
I've
you sent me a
been,
picture of that. Looks good.
so I've been trying to flatten my yard. It's got a big grade. Nobody wants to hear about this. I also went to the grocery store, and it was weird being outside of my house. We have a listener question. Mr. Sullivan, could you read that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. We got an email after our first episode from one of our many loyal fans. And the question is directed for Mr. Randall. So we're going to use that as an opening segment today. Mr. Randall, the question is, what are the 3 things that annoy you the most that students do? General student behavior. 3 things that annoy you most about your students.
All right. So I think I have 2, maybe 3 things that annoy me the most about students who are like my pet peeves. The one, and I think this might be surprising to some kids, the number one thing for me is being a teacher's pet.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's the worst.
So the worst thing about it is the insincerity. It's I can tell if somebody likes me, but it's the like sappy, over the top, being a little goody good boy or goody good girl thing that makes me just irritated.
Sure. No, I get that. I get that.
And it kind of makes me wonder if the kid like actually hates me and they're just trying to get a better grade. And I really dislike this insincerity. I'd rather have a kid like not like me at first and then maybe respect me or maybe just like me a normal amount than be overly fawning with praise. I mean, I know they have other teachers. Not every kid. I don't have to be every kid's favorite teacher. Don't like that behavior.
Sure. No, yeah, you'd like to know where you stand with kids. I'm with you.
Right, honesty, sincerity. Going back to my second part, then I guess would be
Hmm.
there's a saying, "Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining." And the idea is you shouldn't. Is the idea of if a kid tells me something or is being just trying to make me think something that is incorrect. There's a word for it. I don't want to say it because this is a family podcast. If they are trying to sell me a bunch of bull malarkey, they're trying to sell me a bunch of malarkey. We'll go with the Joe Biden phrase. I don't want
Yeah.
malarkey. So if they're
Yeah.
trying to sell me a bunch of malarkey, the biggest issue I have is, let's say I tell a kid to put their phone away, and I'd rather, to be honest, that they just say no and flaunt it in front of me than try to do this I'm clever than you, putting it underneath their desk and trying to be like I'm paying attention, but I'm looking at my phone. Or kids who are like, oh, I turned that in. I have Google Classroom, and I can know if you turn this in. Oh, my computer ate it. Well, that's not how Google Forms work or Google. That kind of insincerity, I feel like those are the 2 things. I'm just going with 2. It's the insincerity and also the selling me malarkey. I don't like insincerity of teacher's pet or the malarkey.
And then as a bonus, you don't like it when students pee on your leg. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't like that. But at least if they're doing that, they're being honest. It goes back to the sincerity point.
Okay.
So, they're showing me how they feel about me. But I will also stress that it's school inappropriate behavior
Yeah, that
to,
is true.
you need to do that in the proper facility. There is a lavatory down the hall, I'll say.
And if you're gonna do it, at least don't tell you that it's raining afterwards.
Right, exactly. Plus, it's new construction, new carpets. You're ruining the carpet.
Old CK, that flies. New CK, no thanks.
Yeah, old CK, there were some stains.
All right, next up we have Mr. Sully's slang word of the week, where I get to teach Mr. Randall and our listening audience how to properly use modern slang. Here we go. You ready, Mr. Randall?
I'm ready.
All right. The first, our only word of the day is T, T-E-A. The definition of T is information, especially of a sensitive nature. So to use that in a sentence, you would say, wow, Mr. Sullivan, that was a juicy secret. You sure spilled the tea all over the place. Have you heard this used in your classroom, Mr. Randall?
You know what? I'm vaguely familiar with this term. Obviously, to spill the tea, if you were to do it on, for example, important documents, as the British are using and they're drinking tea as a custom of their culture, that would be bad. You have to clean up tea instantly. And sometimes it leaves a lasting stain.
I would agree with that, which is why another sentence to be used. Sometimes people don't want to spill the tea. So another sentence example. Sorry, students, I cannot tell you this information of a sensitive nature. I need to keep the tea in the cup on this one. How about that?
That's definitely a way I hadn't heard it used before. The tea must remain in the cup.
That's correct. Sometimes you spill it, sometimes you keep it in the cup.
So let me ask you, does the temperature of the tea matter?
Yes, that's an advanced level course on Mr. Sully's slang word knowledge, but yes, that is true. Hot tea is even juicier gossip than cold tea. Iced tea, in fact, is the least interesting thing out there.
That makes sense because I'm not that interested in iced tea.
That's true. I am not either. Well, that'll conclude Mr. Sullivan's slang word of the day. Now you can spill the tea to your heart's content.
All right, that's great. So, as I understand, Mr. Sullivan, we're going to have a couple special guests on the pod. That's slang for podcast. That's a bonus. You don't get that anywhere else, the use of the word pod. But anyhow, we're going to have some guests, and they're going to try to beat me at a trivia contest, it sounds like, right?
That is correct, yes, and I would be more than happy to explain all the rules for this trivia contest as soon as we make sure that we thank our sponsor for the day that allows us to do this podcast.
This podcast is brought to you by Titanic 2, the undead sea creature nightmare. The lost are back, and they are hungry for revenge. For a limited time, buy a 20-ounce Mountain Dew pancake flavor for a digital coupon to stream Titanic 2 for only 47 cents. Wow, that's a good deal. From a Macedonian darknet website. Ask your local town crier for details. Wow, Mr. Sullivan, that sounds like a great movie.
That does sound like a good movie. I wonder if the plot from the first one, I wonder if Kate Winslet should have scooted over on the little plank of wood there and let Leonardo DiCaprio survive. Maybe that would have prevented all this madness.
Well, I wonder too, because, you think Titanic won a lot of Oscars, great fanfare, great song, a one-take song performance by Celine Dion, who didn't think it was a good song, but it ended up being a song that I myself as a teenager slow danced to at a middle school dance. Obviously I was using proper dance etiquette, and we could definitely do a podcast on proper dance etiquette.
Absolutely.
So
you were face to face. You were leaving some space.
Yeah, there was space for whom or what? Just space to have personal space. We had space.
That's true.
But anyhow, so this movie, you wouldn't. It doesn't lend itself to a sequel, I would say.
You wouldn't think so.
Right, but in this case, it sounds like those who have been lost are coming back as some sort of zombie. And that sounds like a good idea.
I think so too. I will be there opening night.
I tried to look at the IMDb for the actors' names, and the actors' names, they don't seem to be any kind of A-listers. I would go as far as to say I didn't see any C-listers. I saw some actors you might be interested in. Apparently, Lil Romeo is an actor now.
He is, yeah. He's going to be really good.
Yeah, and then there's just Kardashian. I don't know if that's one of the Kardashian people or somebody who just goes by that name, but yeah, it sounds really good.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I guess the theme song is going to be performed by a band called O-Town. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder what the O stands for.
The O stands for, oh man, this is a great movie.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I get it.
All right, there we go. Anyhow, let's go ahead with the trivia contest. I'm sure that all our listeners will be downloading that.
All right, trivia contest here. Here are the rules. You will have 1 minute, Mr. Randall, to set the bar, and then we're going to have our two special guests on to see if they can defeat you. You're going to set the bar by answering as many questions as you possibly can in 60 seconds. You can pass as many questions as you want, and you get up to 3 guesses for every question. So if you want to rapid fire some guesses on questions you initially get wrong, that's fine. You're just going to get as many correct answers as you can in 1 minute. Does that make sense to you, Mr. Randall?
Minute to win it.
That is a different game, but same time frame. All right, you have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as you can. The timer will begin after I read the first question. Your first question is, name the continent with the fewest flowering plants.
Chloe.
Correct. How many U.S. states border the Gulf of Mexico?
7.
No.
6.
No.
9.
No. What is the ballet term for a 360-degree turn on one foot?
A plie?
No.
Pass.
What is the largest and densest of the 4 rocky planets?
Rocky planets? Mars?
Correct. No.
What?
No.
Okay, pass.
Churchill, Sherman, and Panzer are all types of what?
Tanks.
Correct. Which fictional bear thought he had a very little brain?
Winnie the Pooh?
Correct. What type of animal is a skink?
Pass.
Time's up. That puts you with a total score of 4 points. How do you feel about your performance there, Mr. Randall?
Good.
Going back over the couple of questions you missed, you're looking at 5 United States border the Gulf of Mexico. The 360-degree turn on one foot is a pirouette, not a plie. The largest and densest of the 4 rocky planets is Earth, and the type of animal that is a skink is a lizard. It's a high bar to beat, 4, and we'll bring on our guests to see if they can take you down.
Today we're joined by 2 very special guests. The first was the class of 2019 Senior of the Year, and she is currently attending Brown University on a gymnastics scholarship. None other than the Jasmine Lee. Jasmine, how are you doing today?
Hello. I'm doing very well, thank you.
Very nice. Thanks for being on the podcast, Jasmine.
Thank you for having me.
Our second guest is most famous for being the first guest brother. Big welcome to Landon Lee.
Oh,
Appropriate
thanks, I
title.
guess.
Big honor.
Welcome, Landon.
Thank you.
You are welcome. All right, so we have you guys on here to do a little bit of trivia. Mr. Randall is already gone, and he has a score of 4 points. You guys have been explaining the rules. Do you guys have any questions before we get started?
Nope, don't think so.
All right, so first up is going to be Jasmine. The timer will start when I am done reading the first question. Remember, you have as many passes as you would like, and you have up to 3 guesses per question.
Okay. Oh, I have a question. How long is it like?
Yes.
How long do I have to answer?
You have as long as you want, but as soon as you're done answering a question, I'm going to move on to the next one. So it's as many questions as you can get done in a minute.
Okay, a minute.
Here we go. Your timer begins after this first question. Your first question is, name the continent with the fewest flowering plants.
Antarctica.
Correct. Which Kardashian has a child named True?
Oh boy. Chloe.
Correct. How many U.S. states border the Gulf of Mexico?
6.
No.
7.
No.
8. Pass.
No. What is the ballet term for a 360-degree turn on one foot?
A pirouette.
Correct. What is the largest and the densest of the 4 rocky planets?
Neptune.
No.
Skip.
Churchill, Sherman, and Panzer are all types of what?
Skip.
Time. That's a final score of 3 points. Going over quickly the ones that you got incorrect. How many U.S. states border the Gulf of Mexico? We're looking for 5.
I went the wrong way.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I started, I guess, with 6, and I went the other way too. Yeah.
Oh, man.
The largest and the densest of the 4 rocky planets was Earth. Churchill, Sherman, and Panzer are all types of tanks. This leaves you with a final score of 3. Second place.
Dang.
You got a firm hold on second place. It was a good attempt. While we attempt to get Landon back on the call, Jasmine, why don't you tell us a little bit about the tutoring company you started?
Okie dokie. So a couple weeks ago, I started a tutoring service called Stay Home, Stay Smart, and basically it's a free virtual one-on-one tutoring that takes place over Zoom and connects high school and college students who have volunteered some of their time to help other students from ages K through 12 with their studies and with college prep. So I started a little website which allows tutors to sign up, and then also for kids to reach out to request tutors, and then I match them up based on the subjects of request, and then from there it's pretty self-sufficient, and the tutors work together with their students to make some progress with their studies.
That's fantastic. What a cool opportunity. And one more time, how much does this cost for students to get tutoring services?
$0. It is completely free and volunteer.
That sounds like a wonderful opportunity. And how would students go about getting to your website?
For CKH students, there's a link on the Google Classroom, and so you can just head there, give it a click, and it should be pretty easy to find.
We'll put a link in the description of the podcast.
Sweet.
Yes, great idea. We'll put them in the show notes.
Many tutors ready at hand to help you, and they're really excited for the opportunity.
Many tutors, are you guys college students, or is this about English monarch history?
Oh boy.
Speaking of, in Mr. Sullivan's house, there's also a lot of tutors because they ate beans last night. Cutting all that out, just so you know. All right, we should get Landon.
Hello, I'm back.
Let's welcome Landon back to the podcast. Landon, the score to beat remains 4. Jasmine got a whopping 3 points on her chatting contest.
Sad.
It was hard.
All right.
I did not practice that.
How long was per question?
As soon as you either give 3 guesses or get a correct guess or pass is when I will read the next question. You have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can.
Oh, okay.
You understand the rules, Landon?
I understand the rules completely.
Your first question is, name the continent with the fewest flowering plants.
Antarctica.
America.
Correct. Which Kardashian has a child named True?
I don't know. Chloe. Kim? Is that
Chloe
one of
is
them?
correct. How many U.S. states border the Gulf of Mexico?
6.
No.
7.
No.
3.
No. What is the ballet term for a 360-degree turn on one foot?
It's like puree.
No.
Something like that. Skip.
What is the largest and the densest of the 4 rocky planets?
The largest what?
Largest and the densest of the 4 rocky planets.
Mars.
No.
Jupiter.
No.
Skip.
Churchill, Sherman. Oh, no. Time is up. Landon with a final score of 2 points, which leaves us at the podium of Mr. Randall taking the gold, Jasmine Lee taking the silver, and Landon Lee really trying.
We all
Thank you
guessed
for
6.
participating, you both.
We all guessed 6
yeah.
for the Gulf of Mexico question. That's so funny. And we also, I guessed Mars too for the rocky planet. And then I went the other way.
Landon, just to clue you in, the largest and the densest of the 4 rocky planets is Earth. The ballet turn for a 360-degree turn on one foot is a pirouette, not a puree.
I was close. I was right. Can I get half a point for
that? Which would still put you in last. Yes, you may have a half point. That concludes our trivia contest. Thank you both so much for joining.
Thank you.
Been around the block, as they say. You know?
Do they say that?
Yeah, they do. Speaking of,
you know what else they say?
What?
They say, "Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining."
Yeah.
I learned that one from Mr. Randall today.
Speaking of stars and planets, Mr. Sullivan, you know what the gaseous planet is?
The gaseous?
Yeah.
I worry this is going to turn into another fart joke.
It's Uranus.
Yeah, there it is. Okay,
you
thank you, Mr.
That
Randall.
was fantastic.
Yes.
That was incredible. A joke that would come out of 5th grader's mouth.
All right. Well, I think we're going to let you go. I just got a text from my wife saying, "There is puke all over the kitchen. Be careful where you walk." I'm going to let you guys go.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys, for being here. And that's it from the CougarCast. And as
Thank
always,
you for having us.
Yeah, and as always, wash your hands.
As always, wash your hands.
Will do.
Wash your hands, Landon.
Will do.
All right, you could get germs through the podcast, so wash your hands.